A terrible event unfolded in Washington, D.C. This happened on Wednesday evening, May 21, 2025. Gunshots shattered the peace near an important cultural site. The Capitol Jewish Museum became a scene of tragedy. 2 staff members from the Israeli embassy lost their lives. They were attending an event at the museum. The city was left in shock by this brutal act of violence. This incident has raised many serious questions. The victims were identified by Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar. They were Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram. Mr. Lashinsky served as a research assistant at the embassy. Ms. Milgram was responsible for organizing visits and missions to Israel. Their colleagues remembered them fondly. Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Yeshiel Leiter, shared a heartbreaking detail. He revealed the two were a young couple. They were on the verge of getting engaged. Mr. Lashinsky had bought an engagement ring just that week. He planned to propose the following week in Jerusalem. The 2 embassy staffers were leaving a specific event. It was the American Jewish Committee's annual Young Diplomats reception. This event was being held inside the Capitol Jewish Museum. The reception had a noble purpose. It focused on humanitarian aid efforts. Aid for people in both Gaza and Israel was the main topic. The event aimed to bring together people of different faiths. Muslims, Jews, and Christians were all invited to participate. The goal was to foster understanding and cooperation. The attack happened as the victims were departing. The suspect was reportedly seen pacing outside the museum. He appeared agitated before the shooting began. He then approached a group of 4 individuals. Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgram were part of this small group. The assailant opened fire on them without warning. The sudden violence caught everyone off guard. The evening meant for dialogue ended in bloodshed. This swift, targeted attack has deeply alarmed authorities. The suspect in this horrifying attack has been identified. Metropolitan Police Chief Pamela Smith provided his name. He is Elias Rodriguez, 31 years old, from Chicago. Law enforcement officials apprehended him at the scene. Details about his background are still emerging. Investigators are working to understand his path to this violence. His motives are a key focus of the ongoing investigation. The city's police are handling the case with urgency. Witness accounts describe the moments before the shooting. Rodriguez was reportedly seen loitering outside the museum. He was pacing back and forth for some time. This behavior may have indicated his intentions. He then made his move. He approached the group that included the 2 Israeli victims. He did not hesitate before he started shooting. The attack was direct and focused on these individuals. The other 2 people in the group were thankfully unharmed but deeply shaken. After firing the fatal shots, the suspect's actions continued. Elias Rodriguez then walked into the Capitol Jewish Museum. He did not attempt to flee the scene immediately. Once inside, he was quickly confronted and detained. Event security personnel acted swiftly to secure him. Their quick response likely prevented further harm. He was held until Metropolitan Police officers arrived. The officers then took him into custody. His capture inside the museum was a critical moment. During his arrest, the suspect reportedly made his motivations clear. According to police, Elias Rodriguez yelled, "Free, free Palestine." Witnesses inside the museum corroborated this. Yoni Kalin, who was present, heard the gunshots. Kalin stated that when police apprehended Rodriguez, he pulled out a red keffiyeh. He then repeatedly shouted, "Free Palestine." These statements and actions strongly suggest a political motive. They link the attack to the ongoing Middle East conflict. The news of the shooting prompted immediate and strong reactions. President Donald Trump responded early on Thursday, May 22, 2025. He posted on social media about the incident. He called the killings horrible DC killings. President Trump stated they were based obviously on anti-Semitism. He further declared, "Hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA." His words underscored the severity of the event. The White House is monitoring the situation closely. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also issued a statement. His office conveyed that he was shocked. He condemned the shooting as horrific and anti-Semitic. Prime Minister Netanyahu remarked, "We are witnessing the terrible price of anti-Semitism and wild incitement against Israel." He also spoke with U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Bondi reportedly informed him that President Trump was involved in managing the incident. This highlights the high level of concern internationally. Several high-ranking U.S. officials were present at the scene. Attorney General Pam Bondi was there. The U.S. Attorney in Washington, Jeanine Pirro, was also present. Her office will be responsible for prosecuting the case. Dan Bongino, the Deputy Director of the FBI, commented as well. He posted on social media. Bongino stated that early indicators are that this is an act of targeted violence. Federal authorities are working with local police. This tragic shooting does not exist in a vacuum. It occurred against a backdrop of renewed conflict. Israel has recently launched another major offensive in the Gaza Strip. This is part of its ongoing war with Hamas. That war began on October 7, 2023. On that day, Hamas militants attacked Israel. They killed approximately 1,200 people and took around 250 hostages. Israel's subsequent military campaign in Gaza has resulted in a high death toll. Reports indicate more than 53,000 people have been killed in Gaza. This context is crucial for understanding potential motives. The impact on the local Jewish community has been profound. Gil Preus is the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington. He described the shooting in stark terms. He called it a tragic act of anti-Semitic violence. Community members are feeling a mix of grief and fear. This attack on a significant Jewish institution has sent shockwaves. Many are concerned about their safety and security. Vigils and support gatherings are being planned. The Capitol Jewish Museum itself had recently addressed security concerns. Just last week, the museum received new funding. This funding was part of a $500,000 grant program. The program aimed to help increase its security measures. These concerns stemmed from its identity as a Jewish organization. There were also concerns related to a new LGBTQ exhibit at the museum. The fact that this attack happened despite increased awareness is deeply troubling. It highlights the persistent nature of threats. This event has much broader societal implications. It raises urgent questions about rising anti-Semitism. The problem of targeted violence based on hate is a serious one. Such acts of violence tear at the fabric of society. They create division and foster an atmosphere of fear. Confronting this hatred requires a collective effort. Leaders and communities must work together to denounce and prevent such acts. The safety of all minority groups is a fundamental concern for a healthy democracy. The irony of this attack is particularly painful. The shooting occurred as people left an event designed to build bridges. The young diplomat's reception was focused on humanitarian aid. It brought together Muslims, Jews, and Christians. The aim was to promote understanding and peace. For such an event to end in violence is a chilling reminder. Metropolitan Police Chief Pamela Smith stated that law enforcement did not believe there was an ongoing threat to the community. However, the emotional scars will take time to heal. The community mourns but also looks for ways to strengthen its resolve against hate.